Today, I'm gonna bring you guys a very serious 2K18 issue. Defensive settings are broken online, like actually broken. So defensive settings are fully glitched for online play. If you just take a look at the off-ball and on-ball settings, I'm checking up there. I'll go back to it and show you guys why. So you can take a look at it there, but make sure you share this and retweet my pinned tweet to 2K devs on my Twitter handle at SamFam20. This is serious and they gotta fix this, alright? So take a look. This is the second quarter of an online game. I'm facing a Golden State Warriors user. I'm Milwaukee Bucks. And as you can see, substitution has taken place because at this point, Shaun Livingston has become his point guard. So that means he subbed. So Stephen Curry is no longer the starting point guard. And you can see the on-ball and off-ball pressure of Shaun Livingston is set to tight and deny. I didn't do this. I did not do this. Look at this. I had tight and deny set to Curry. I had Shaun Livingston before the game started. You can see the game is paused here, and this is before the game started. I had him set to off-ball pressure to moderate and on-ball pressure to moderate. The person who I had set to tight and deny was Curry. It was Curry, not Shaun Livingston. But when the opposing player online subbed in Livingston, he ended up with Curry's original on-ball and off-ball settings, which I set up at the beginning of the game. This is crazy, look. So I switch it back, obviously, and you can see another problem here is that the matchup has also been changed to Dellavedova. Originally, the matchup I had for Livingston is just auto, and there's no going back to auto here, so that's another issue. But let's just focus on ball and off ball. This glitch for now. This is dead serious. So the shooting guard for the other user now is McCaw. So he has subbed out Klay Thompson, and McCaw is on the floor. And behold, McCaw originally, like once again you can see there's a timer on top. So this is before I started the game. I had McCaw set to moderate and tight for on ball and off ball pressure. Klay was in tight and deny ball when they started the game. So Klay was the starting shooting guard when the game started. McCaw was the bench shooting guard. But because this is the beginning of the second quarter, the other user had put McCaw now in the shooting guard position on court. And when that happens, McCaw's original settings are cancelled and he simply picks up Klay's settings, the previous player who was in his position before the substitution happened. And once again, the matchup has been changed to my Jason Terry, and that's not what I did either. I had it on auto once again. But the worst thing here is McCaw has picked up Klay settings, completely forgetting his own. He has picked up the on-ball and off-ball settings of the player that was in his position before he was subbed in. Alright, and that's the glitch. You can change it, like as you can see, I'm doing it here. And if you look at Nick guy, Nick Young is correct on tight and tight because the player in his previous position was Durant, who was in tight and tight. Iggy originally set to moderate than moderate. Looks good here, not because it's correct, it's just because the player originally in his position was Draymond Green, and he happened to have moderate and moderate. And finally, David West was at moderate and leave him. Once again, the right settings for what I did, but it's because Zaza Pachulia was in it, so he just picked up Zaza's off-ball and the on-ball settings. So that's one timeout. So in the next timeout, you can see this is the second quarter, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And Curry has come back on now. And okay, pop quiz family. Curry just came back on. His player in his previous position was Shaun Livingston, who we switched back to moderate and moderate. So what do you think Curry's going to be in now? Even though originally we set him to tight and deny when we started the game. Look at Curry now. He is on freaking moderate and moderate. He has picked up Shaun Livingston settings, who was the player in his previous position before he was subbed in. Family. Steph Curry is on moderate on-ball and moderate off-ball settings. If you didn't know about this glitch, or if you or me, okay, then we would have been playing this online game where we are up 23-12 against Golden State, no less, using Milwaukee. And this guy just happens to sub Curry back in. And the Curry that subs back in now is not tight and deny Curry. It's moderate and moderate Curry. Like, that would cost you the damn game immediately. Okay, like my 9-point lead here would dissipate to like, if 3-point deficit in 2 minutes if I didn't know about this. Because I'd be guarding Curry, Steph freaking Curry, online moderate without my permission. That is broken defensive settings, alright? Like, 2K, come on. Clay comes back, who is now on tight and tight because the previous guy, I had it to. I changed it to tight and tight. So that's tight and tight here. But that's still bad. And not because the matchups are still screwed up. You see, I don't want Middleton to guard Clay. Before this game started, I had Middleton guarding Curry. So now my matchups are screwed up. My on-ball and off-ball is screwed up. And Iggy is back on now. So the previous position that was in Iggy's position was Nick Young. He was tight and tight. Remember Iggy in the previous timeout, we set him to moderate and moderate. But it's not anymore. Iggy is now tight and tight. So I gotta fix this too. So I gotta change this back to moderate and moderate. Durant is now the power forward, alright? And remember, the previous player in his position was Iggy, who was in moderate and moderate. Even though, while we set Durant to tight and tight before the game started, guess what Durant is right now? Yes, he is freaking moderate and moderate. Because the player that was in the previous position was Iggy, who was on moderate and moderate. So, if I didn't know about this, I would have been guarding Durant, moderate, off-ball, and on-ball. Curry, moderate, off-ball, and on-ball. And freaking Iguodala, tight and tight. What? That's 2K suicide against Golden State Warriors. Zaza is fine because we didn't touch him. The center is usually moderate. Even okay, next timeout. Okay, we go back to the beginning of the third quarter. We're up 32-19 now because I know about this stupid glitch. And you can see Curry comes back on, which is fine because he hasn't been subbed. Tight and tight. Clay's fine, tight and tight. Matchups are messed up again because Middleton is supposed to be on Curry. Durant is on moderate and moderate because Iggy was in this position, so now I gotta switch this back to tight and tight. Okay, Draymond's back, who is now tight and tight, not moderate and moderate, because his previous position player was on moderate and moderate. So I gotta change this back. Sasa's fine. Oh yeah, and if you're smart and you realize this, if this guy makes any substitution after the timeout that I wouldn't know about because 2K never tells me about it, right? Then those settings that I just did won't even apply to the new guy. Like, remember I just set Draymond to moderate and moderate, but if in the timeout he decides to put Durant on power forward instead, then Durant will be getting moderate and moderate again. And with me having no way to fix it because I don't have enough time in the defensive settings screen to change it, right? So then I'm stuck with Durant on moderate and moderate as power forward. That's stupid. That's broken defensive settings. Like, you can just watch it. I know, like, Scott OG, he's the 2K dev that works on defensive settings. The defensive settings are great this year if you use them. AI does it horribly because they make the wrong choice. We all know that. But look at Durant is wrong again. But you can have the greatest defensive settings, and they are great. I'm telling you right now, the defensive settings, if you use them correctly, are great. So props to Scott OG for that. But like, no props for not testing it out for online play, to not realize that the defensive settings don't stay. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. We gotta send this to the 2K devs, tweet it at them, share them. I posted on OS, go to the OS forum and leave a comment. Let them know about this because, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you can do what I'm doing. You can, like, literally every time the other guy subs online right now, I have to call a timeout so I can change the settings of myself to make sure they're right. Like, I have to, like, look, Draymond's wrong again. Like, I have to call a timeout every time the other guy subs or calls a timeout. Like, it has to be back-to-back timeouts. No less though, I'm crushing him here, 51-37. Milwaukee on Golden State. And this is probably because, well, I'm pretty good at 2K. But this is also probably because he doesn't know about this glitch. Like, he's being murdered by it. Murdered. So this is the only way to fix it. You have to call a timeout after the other guy subs, or you have to call a timeout after the other guy calls a timeout. Because if he subs during your timeout, you won't be able to change it. So you need to be the guy that calls a timeout, followed by the other guy not subbing, to get the right settings. That's insane. That's not acceptable. And we didn't even bring up the matchup glitch. That's still happening and also can't be fixed because you can see here I have Smart and Irving. This also happens on Play Now Offline and online. Like, on Play Now Offline, like, I can do it here. Like, I can go back to the pause screen and change the matchups. Impossible online. The timer has run out. I don't have time to do this. So, and on the timeout screen, you can't change it back to auto. So if this is like the matchup online is not fixable. You are just stuck. Well, you can micromanage it on the timeout screen like I did earlier, but it's still like this. Like this is insane. Matchups and defensive settings do not stay true because for some reason they just switch to the player's position in the previous position with those settings. So this is way worse than it seems, because like I told you earlier, that you cannot control this. If you run out of timer clock, which you will, like by the time I finish my defensive settings and matchups, usually I have about 20 seconds left in the timer, and I do those hella fast. And I don't even know if the hedge defenses are being changed. I honestly don't know, because online I don't have enough time to go back and check it. Like I will have to set my defensive settings once in general, and then change it throughout the course of the game after every timeout or after every substitution the other guy makes. And I haven't even had enough time in the games I've played to check if the hedge defense is correct. I noticed this because I was playing a game. I was using Milwaukee. I was playing some guy using Cleveland, and I was crushing him. Like he was playing starters. I had like a 12-point lead in like 5 minutes, and then he puts on his bench and he was catching up because Jay Crowder kept getting all these easy shots, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I noticed these things because I know my settings, so that I paused, I go to timeout, and I go look at the screen, and they were all wrong. And then I caught on. That's why I realized this was happening. So obviously I've been changing it ever since. I just needed to get the footage to you guys so you guys can see this. This is not acceptable, 2K. Like this is insane. Like the devs have got to like acknowledge and fix this. So treat this at every online game is like this. It's happening without you knowing it. So that's why some of you, even you said you use my defensive settings and you see crazy rotations. That's why. You can manage it. Like you can see me fix it there. I still win online. Well, I'll be sure you guys online gameplay tomorrow, or yeah, probably tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow or Wednesday. And yeah, like I noticed it, so I can fix it, which gives me a huge competitive advantage. Like if I kept my mouth shut about this, I'll be dominating, like dominating even more, non-stop, because I would just purposely sub in and out and make you guard my Steph Curry moderate. I'll put him on 2 guard. I'll put him on come on 2K. Like what is this? Like you talk about A's, you talk about defensive settings, and you talk about all that, and then this is happening to users without knowing. Like did you not notice? Like the game testing phase of this game, was this not tested? I noticed like in my 3rd game playing online. Like 3rd game I noticed. Because the earlier games well no, not 3rd game, maybe like 4th or 5th, can't remember, because I kept blowing up people in the 1st quarter, so then they rage quit, so that I didn't have the footage. But anyways, by the 3rd, 5th or 4th game, when I went to the 2nd quarter, like when I started seeing the other guy's bench, I realized, wait, I didn't tell him to grab the bench like that. This absolutely needs to be fixed. Like you guys been patching a lot of things, which is good, but you gotta stop ignoring the online people. Like this is happening on my team and play now. Any settings you have set only holds true till the other guys begin subbing and calling timeouts, because players that come on during timeouts and substitution picks up the settings of the player that was previously in their position. So like I decided to show you guys this game because that's the most glaring difference between Livingston and Curry, right? They both play point guard, but Curry is someone you have to tight and deny, while Livingston is someone you have to moderate and moderate. But the moment they switch, you will be guarding Livingston tight and deny, which is bad because that opens up the other shooters. So you switch it back to moderate and moderate. But if you didn't know about this, then the Curry who comes back on will be on moderate and moderate. And as we previously discussed, that's full basketball suicide and is not okay. Okay, you gotta be transparent. You gotta communicate on this. I have been critical of you. You know that, and I know you don't like that because your devs tell me either I don't know anything, they tell me that in person, or not in person, they tell me through messages either I don't know anything about the defense, or they tell me in person, they tell me they don't trust me because I break their game, so they won't communicate with me, and they won't help me break your game. I don't understand you, I don't know why you feel that way, so I can't really communicate with you anymore because that's how your people talk to me. But like, can you be transparent and communicate with this issue? Because yeah, bad. Yeah, bad. And this is probably why you should have invited me. Oh no, actually, you shouldn't have invited me to the neighborhood event. You made the correct choice there, because I would have picked this up right away. And then I would have talked about it. And since you don't really want to communicate and be transparent about these issues, good choice on your part. But the game has already came out. You've already patched it a few times. So this is probably not cool. And it's not cool. So you don't need to communicate with me. I know you don't want to. Your devs clearly show me they don't want to. They've been very, I want to quote unquote, polite about it. So yeah, I know my relationship with theirs is dead. But like, they don't see eye to eye with me. But like this, fix it. Okay? And you won't admit I bought it up probably because I know your devs, those devs don't like me. Fine. But if you're seeing this, don't acknowledge me. I know you don't want to, so don't. I don't need the acknowledgement. But I need this fixed. We need this fixed. Okay? So, there you go. Very bad. This is the worst one ever. I don't think there is a worse one. I mean, like, if I can beat your defense with a katana, that's just giggles. That's funny. This is no giggles. This is heartbreaking. And people don't know about this. And the people who know about this won't talk about it because the competitive advantage this brings, oh my lord. Like, if I scheme around this, like, damn. I won't, because I don't like to play that way. Competitive balance is important to me, and it should be important to you, 2K. So patch this, fix this. Don't acknowledge me, you won't. I know you won't. But patch this, okay? Thanks. See ya.